welcome! In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I achieved this look using several of the products that I purchased during the Sephora savings event. This video is actually going to replace my monthly testing hot new makeup video. I hope you're not too disappointed by that because everything that I will be using in this video is technically hot new makeup, but it's also a try-on of my VIB sale haul. Maybe I should call it testing the hottest new makeup I purchased during the Sephora sale. Regardless, I am super excited to test out these products. I've had them for a couple of days now, holding off until I could film this video, so let's get started. I wasn't sure if I was going to put this product in this video. It's the Laura Mercier New Formula Pure Canvas Blurring Primer. Because it was sent to me, I didn't purchase it, so I thought, well, maybe I shouldn't put it in this video. But if it is a testing hot new makeup hybrid video, then typically in those videos, I would use products even if I was just sent them in PR. And I kind of am still not sure if I should show this because I have a new foundation to test out, which is the Urban Decay Face Bond Waterproof Foundation with up to 24-hour wear. And typically when I test foundations, I feel like I should try it without primer. What to do. Okay, I think I'm going to use them both. So again, this is the newly reformulated blurring primer from Laura Mercier. And I have large pores and texture, and it is blurring them a little bit. It feels nice. It feels like a lotion versus something with a lot of slip, like a silicone primer. And it says that it offers all-day shine control. 94% of consumers agree this primer helped skin stay oil and shine-free all day. So this foundation is, I may have already said this, supposed to be lightweight, waterproof, good for all skin types. Actually, that's incorrect. It says that it is best for normal, combination, and oily skin. This foundation also claims to have medium coverage. It claims to blur imperfections. It also claims to have a self-setting powder that reduces shine for a blurring, natural matte, smudge-resistant finish. All right, it's self-setting and containing a powder, which means that according to Urban Decay, I shouldn't have to use a powder to set this. But I am highly skeptical. Skeptical? I am highly skeptical of that claim. It also says it's sweat and humidity proof. This sounds amazing. So I'm using my BK Beauty 101 brush. I am going to put a little foundation in my palm. I do like the little squeeze tube. Ooh, what color am I using? I bought 16, light, medium, cool. Even though I have a neutral skin tone, I have been feeling more and more lately that brands are getting things a little backwards and they are labeling things that foundations that still have a lot of yellow in them, they're labeling them cool. And as you can see, this does have some yellow to it. It's not what one might think of as being a cool tone or working well on someone with a rosier skin that doesn't want the rosiness neutralized. I think we all know by now that yellow tones will counteract redness. A lot of makeup artists do use warm-toned foundations to neutralize the pinky tones of some of their clients. However, not every person likes that look. I do like the coverage. It is really, really pretty. I think I did an okay job with the color match. Now, after recently trying for several days the newly reformulated MAC foundation, which by the way, I have a full review of up on my channel. I do compare it to the old formula. That one is highly concentrated and very easily spread. And what I mean by that is a little bit goes a long way. This is not going as far. The same amount is not covering as much area as when I use my MAC Studio Fix fluid. Because I do need even a little bit more to finish off my forehead, or maybe I don't. Just picking up more product. Okay, I just had to get up and go into my bedroom to grab something, and I looked in a couple of mirrors that I have in my room, and I cannot believe how yellow this is for a cool tone. And I don't think they've labeled them like MAC does, where NC means not cool, so it's warm toned, and NW means not warm, so it's cool toned. Now don't get me wrong, I don't think it looks bad, but I think it's important that you know that when you're choosing a shade, especially if you're ordering it online. But let's take a closer look at how this looks up close. It looks good. It looks fine. I'm not completely wowed by it. And I know this is supposed to have powder in it and be self-setting, but typically what I use powders for, setting powders for, is to set the makeup in place, but also to sort of blur my pores. And powders, to me, even on dry skin, obviously they have to be a different type of powder than for oily skin, but on my oily skin, powders are what I use to get that real smooth effect. You know, I was thinking that I would not actually use this new Laura Mercier Ultra Blurring Setting Powder that I bought because the foundation is supposed to be self-setting. But I really want to see how this looks with the powder over it. But before I do that, I am going to apply a little bit of my Natasha Denona concealer because I did not purchase a new concealer during the event because I already have 2 shades of this. I mean, I suppose I could purchase a backup. Have I just talked myself into placing another order? And the shade I'm using right now is N4. And I'm also doing a little contouring. This is the new Laura Mercier Ultra Blur Translucent Pressed Setting Powder. This truly translucent powder sets makeup for extended weightless wear with a matte, soft focus finish. Infused with ultra blurring ingredients, Laura's new formula helps blur the look of skin and control shine. So, I've used a blurring primer. I've used a blurring and allegedly self-setting and allegedly shine controlling foundation. And now I'm going in with powder. And I'm going to put this over my face, most of my face, but not under my eyes because I do have the new Pat McGrath under eye powder in the pink shade. Ow! Oh my goodness, that hurt. I got my finger caught in the compact. That honestly hurt so bad. You know, now that I'm playing with it a little bit more, it is very easy to get your fingers caught in here. It does come with a little puff, so I'm going to take the puff and press in the areas where I feel like I need some pore refinement. That did a very, very good job. Oh, I'm liking it much better already. And by it, I mean my complexion, because I'm really not loving it over here. Let's try some on the nose. Yeah, this is making things much better in my opinion. And I'm putting powder all over because I personally get oily all over. All right, so when most people hear self-setting, they're probably not going to use a powder because they want to believe the claims of that foundation. But I feel like this foundation needed this powder in order to look the way, well, I want it to look. Now it's time to try this Pat McGrath, trying not to get the confetti everywhere that they put in the bag, but oh well. Oh wow, it doesn't look very pink. And then I flipped it over and it says baby pink, so that's so strange. I barely see any pink in this. Oh, that's a lot of kick up. Wow. Oh, that's pretty though. Ooh. That just airbrushed my under eyes. Oh, my goodness. This is fantastic. I'm gonna put a little bit here and here. Oh my goodness, this is so nice. Okay, I thought things might be going downhill, but they're starting to level out. All right, I do not have a new bronzer, so I'm going to apply a little bit of this Benefit Hoola Caramel to warm up my face. And then I'm also going to put my eyebrows on off camera because while I did buy a new ABH Brow Wiz in Caramel, it's not a new product. It's been out for years and I'm fairly certain that everybody knows about it by now. It has been a while since I purchased or tried a Too Faced eyeshadow palette, but I thought that these Born This Way mini palettes were so cute. I couldn't decide which one to get. I kept going back between the warm and the cool palette. I ultimately ended up with the warm palette, and then I was speaking to Stephanie Marie, who, as many of you know, is another beauty YouTuber and one of my closest friends, and she was saying that she was sent both of them in a PR package. I am not on the Too Faced PR list and never have been. I don't know why, but I'm just not. Anyway, she said that she tried them both and she actually preferred the cool toned palette. And then I was like, darn it, why didn't you tell me this before? I would have ordered the cool. But since I have the warm, that's what we're going to try. It has been a long time since I have done a halo eyeshadow look, which is honestly one of my favorite looks for hooded eyes. I am actually going to start with an eye pencil. This is the Laura Mercier Caviar eyeliner in Cocoa. And I am going to line and then almost use this as like a base for the look. I love how creamy this is. Now I'm going to take a brush and buff it out. So if you can tell, hopefully you can tell, I've left a space in the center. A halo eye, for those of you that don't know, is when there is a dark color on the outer and inner corners and a pop of shimmer or lightness in the center. Now I'm going to take the darkest brown and set that pencil. So I'm just patting and patting. And we're going to do some blending, don't worry. Wowza, these are pigmented. Well, this one so far is very pigmented. I'm not gonna lie, it looked kind of unimpressive when I first opened it. You know, sometimes you see palettes online and they look okay, and then you get them and you open them up and you're like, ooh, this is so much prettier in person. And this was the reverse. It didn't look that great when I first opened it, but things are going well so far. She says after she's tried one color. That was such a beauty influencer thing to say. I'm calling myself out. All right, so now let's take another brush. Which brush? Another BK Beauty. I'm gonna go into this shade right here. Oh, I can use this mirror. I love when a little compact has a mirror. Now I'm just buffing that out. Ooh, this is good. This is really nicely pigmented. The formula is really nice. Oh gosh, I definitely see another Sephora order coming on because now I want the cool. All right, so I'm just kind of touching that up and blending out. If you ever feel like your eyeshadow is going on kind of patchy, get yourself a light like this. This is the Ilios ring light. And go on the really magnified side and tweeze those hairs, because when you have little hairs that you can't see with the naked eye coming down here, which happens to us as we get older, hairs just start growing in random places, we've got to get rid of those hairs or the eyeshadow is not going to lay well. I mean, I even have them growing over here, which is what's making things a little patchy. All right, now I'm taking the lightest shade and putting that right underneath my brow. Oh, it's a little dark for under the brow, I think, but it's nice to blend out. It's giving it a more like pinkier tone than the beige. So either one of these is great for blending out, but I do want something lighter right under the brow. So I'm taking my Makeup Forever palette and I'm going to do what I do often, which is take some concealer, carve out the brow, and then that will give me the lightness I'm looking for. And then I'm also going to take it and kind of clean up the outer corner. All right, now what shade should I put on the lid? I think I'm gonna do this kind of plummy color, plummy bronze. Oh, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of a little bit, well, not totally, but in some ways this reminds me of the shimmers in the Ethereal Eyes palette from Makeup by Mario. The texture in the Ethereal Eyes is a little bit nicer. This shimmer is feeling a little bit dry, but it is pretty. I actually like it a lot. I think I'm going to take now a little bit of this ivory and pop that in the center of that. Ooh. Good choice. I think it looks like my eyes have like a foiled effect going on. I like it. And now I'm going to take a little bit more of that eyeliner that I used. And I need a magnifying mirror again. And I'm going to touch up the line. Give myself a little baby wing. Obviously, I went ahead and did the other eye, and now I'm going to try this new Clinique mascara. It is the High Impact Hi-Fi mascara in Intense Black. Ooh, I like the packaging. What a pretty green color. Here's what the mascara wand looks like. I've already curled my lashes, and let's see. Ooh, I like the texture of this. It's very like light and fluffy. It's not too wet, it's not too dry. Wow. I am not normally a fan of Clinique mascaras, but do you see this? That was so quick. And my lashes look dark and long, and that took like no effort at all. Let's see if it gets clumpy with another coat. Oh, it dries really, really fast. So if you want to do a second coat, you have to act quickly. Built it up a little bit. No clumps though, except for on the tip. Mascara's on, and now I want to finish off the eyes by taking a little bit of combination. Actually, I'm going to do a combination of the light and dark brown and run that along my lower lash lines. Now I want to place some of that ivory shimmer in my tear ducts. You know what? I'm going to try to dampen this just to see if it gives it more intensity. This is just some MAC Fix Plus. Yeah. Definitely more intense with a damp brush. And I'm going to put a little bit under the brow as well, just right under the arch. It is sort of glittery. I take back what I said about it resembling the Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes. It does and it doesn't. In appearance, it kind of does. But the Makeup by Mario, in my experience, does not have the kind of glittery fallout that this does. When I was chatting with Stephanie Marie about these palettes, she did tell me that she preferred the shimmers in the cool palette over the shimmers in the warm. And now I'm starting to see why that might be. Okay, for blush, I have two products to try. One of them is the newly reformulated NARS Powder Blush. It no longer contains any talc, and this particular shade is Orgasm Edge. I think by now we all are aware of the Orgasm blush. It's been around for years. It has been a favorite of makeup artists and consumers for a really, really long time. But one of the complaints that some people had with that shade was that they didn't like the shimmer in it. They would love to have that same peachy pink that's flattering on so many skin tones, but make it matte. And that is what they did with Orgasm Edge. So let's give it a try. I personally have always really liked the original, but I'm down to try a matte blush because I do have another blush from Rare Beauty, we are going to use as a topper. Definitely less pigment than the original formula, but not bad. It builds up easily. And I've always said this about blush. Sometimes it's better if they are more sheer buildable versus really, really pigmented, because you can go from 0 to clown cheeks very, very quickly with heavily pigmented blushes. I think if I ever come out with merchandise, I'm going to put that like on a mug or something. 0 to clown cheeks. Oh, I like this. I think it's very flattering. All right, now, this is the Rare Beauty Soft Pinch Luminous Powder Blush. I purchased 2 shades, Cheer and Hope, and I have tried them both, so this is not a first impression. And I'll be straight with you. The reason why I didn't hold off on trying these is because I couldn't help myself. Everyone was talking about these blushes. I had to try it immediately. And what I've learned is that when you have textured skin, large pores, maybe some fine lines, these are best used as a topper than your straight-on blush. Now, of course, your experience could be different from mine. I just didn't like how my texture, how my skin looked when I used this just as a blush. So I'm using it as a topper. This is the shade Hope, and I'm using it in place of a highlighter because look at that. It gave me a glow. And it still emphasizes my texture a little bit, but it's not bad. I just think these are so, so pretty. All right, now it's time for lips. I purchased 2 of the new YSL Love Shine lipsticks. These are the replacement for the YSL Rouge Volupte or Volupte, not sure how you pronounce it, but those have been discontinued. I loved them, so that made me sad. It feels like everything is being reformulated these days, which isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes it's a good thing. But I was a little concerned that I wouldn't like these as much, and I do. I purchased Nude Lingerie, which I will swatch for you here. And the other one I got is called Rosewood Blush, and I have not used this shade yet. I did swatch them for my haul video, but I never put it on. What disappointed me about the swatches when I did that video was that the 2 shades did look very, very similar. So I'm about to find out if they look that similar on the lips. I'm using one of my favorite lip liners. This is Smoky Pink by Makeup by Mario. Oh, it's definitely rosier than the Nude Lingerie. These feel so good. I love a lipstick / gloss hybrid. I love it, but I do have this Armani gloss I wanted to try as well. And you're probably thinking that does not look like it would go with that. But that's the fun part about makeup, is that you can just throw things together and play. As long as you don't have a special event that you're going to, I wouldn't recommend just experimenting. But if you have maybe a half an hour or an hour during your week to take for yourself and just play around with different products and techniques, I think you're going to find that your makeup improves. So let's take a good look at the YSL on its own with the Mario lip liner. And now, because I don't want to take the color that's on my lips and have it get into this tube, I'm going to pull out the applicator and put some on the back of my hand. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing there. Just get some on the back of my hand and then take my finger and pat it on top. Oh, look at that. It just kind of deepened the intensity, gave it a little bit more shine. Oh, this feels good. Okay. See, experimentation works. Here we are. I'm going to go do my hair, put on some clothes, come back and give you my final thoughts. All right, here's the finished look. Everything looks pretty good, I think. And now I want to go through each product individually. As always, these are just my opinions based off of this one experience. So let's start with the complexion products. The Laura Mercier Primer, the Urban Decay Face Bond, the Laura Mercier Powder, and the Pat McGrath Powder. I am indifferent to these two as of now. They look good. Everything looks good. I didn't love this that much on its own. Sometimes I put on foundations and I'm just wowed from the jump. I look in the mirror 5 minutes later or without powder or without concealer, and I feel like my skin looks really good. I feel like it looked just okay. Okay, I forgot to do this the day that I filmed that video. Check in with the foundation. So I'm doing it now. I wore it, obviously, again today. And I like it. I'm still just not wowed by it. I don't know, maybe it's because I just test way too many foundations, or maybe it's because I've fallen in love with the new Formula Max Studio Fix, and that has been my obsession. Every time I put that on, I just feel like my skin looks flawless. So now I compare everything to that, and I think my skin looks good. I'm shiny. I feel like I'm a little bit more shiny than I am with the Studio Fix Fluid, but you know, I can't decide. I mean, I think had I not tried the new Studio Fix Fluid, I would be all over this. I would be thinking this is the bee's knees. That was so cheesy. But I think you get what I'm trying to say. It is good. The coverage is good. The wear time is good. If you're oily, you're going to be oily. You're going to need to touch up. But same thing with the Studio Fix Fluid. But yeah, I don't know what else I can say about it. I'll definitely keep it in the rotation. Absolutely. I do think that the Laura Mercier blurring powder is very good. It is very blurring. And if I did need to touch up right now, I would touch up with this. I am loving this Pat McGrath powder. My under eyes look really, really good. I love both of these blushes. I think the combo is super pretty. All right, the Clinique mascara. I'm indifferent to this. It did go on nicely. At first I was like, oh, this is going to be really, really great or exceptional. But for a mid to high-end mascara, I still prefer the YSL Lash Clash or the Chanel Le Volume or the Lancome Idole. This was just not anything outstanding in my opinion. I almost forgot about the eyeshadow palette. I like it. It's cute. Great for travel. Is it 100% necessary? Did it knock my socks off? No, but I do like it, and I probably will toss it in my travel bag for my next trip. And I probably will buy the Cool Tone one as well, because as far as pigmentation goes, it was excellent. Blendability, excellent. The only reason why I'm not kind of going gaga over it is because I already have, and I'm sure you probably already have, very similar colors in your collection. You might even have the full Too Faced Born This Way eyeshadow palette, in which case you definitely don't need this. I guess what I'm trying to say is that if you are a mini palette collector, or if you are just someone that likes to have just 5 or 6 shades in their eyeshadow palette, so it's not so overwhelming, in that case, I do think this would be a good one to purchase, or the Cool Tone one. All right, let's talk lips. I think you can tell I love both. The YSL Love Shine, the Armani Lip Oil, both of these, so nice. Okay, did I miss anything? I don't think so, but as usual, all of the products I talked about will be listed and linked down below in the description box. I will also tag them through YouTube Shopping. You should see something on your screen. You should have seen at some point something that said show products or shop products. So that'll do it for this Sephora VIB Sale savings event try-on haul / testing hot new makeup. Please give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And if you are not already subscribed to my channel, I hope that you will consider doing so. I do upload new content at least twice per week. You can also find more content from me over on Instagram and on TikTok. My username is the same everywhere. It's Risa Does Makeup. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope to see you in my next video.